We made it. I was beginning to wonder. Well, welcome to my home. It's the first morning session, and welcome. We're going to be talking about a couple of things that are pretty relevant in my life today, specifically today and right now. Um, Real estate, loans, banking, foreclosures, and bankruptcy. All things that are happening to me right now. Um, and it's been out of my power for almost a year. I've done everything I possibly could. And it's come down to I don't know what it's come down to. I don't think I've ever been so lost and confused in my life as I am right now. Uh, Doing the right thing doesn't matter with the banks today. Um, it's disturbing for me because I'm a old school type of guy, and if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something. I still believe in trusting people. And what's happened to me is I had a I've got a second house that I rent out, and I had tenants leave, break their lease, and leave last June. And when I got there to inspect the house, and I'd been to the house off and on over the number of years they had rented from me, and it was always immaculate. Just, I mean, these I thought they were the tenants from sent from God, so I didn't have to rush down and check them out. And a couple of days after they were out of the state, I went through the house, and I could have sat down and cried. Thousands upon thousands of dollars worth of damage, and it took every penny I could scrape to get started on this thing, much less finish it. And I hit all my credit cards, um, made a lot of bad choices, but we got it clean and at least showable. Where if somebody wanted to rent it, I'd have to get in there and finish it up. But I was going to give them choices of colors and stuff you really don't get often in a rental unit. But it offset those costs until I could get a security deposit. Well, that never materialized. We never got renters in. The market kind of went flat. But I was also I had the rent high. We were expecting this big this company was building supposedly in southeastern Wisconsin, and we were supposed to have this big influx of people. So rents just went through the roof, and then we had elections, and the Republicans that were in the office were giving sweetheart deals for this company to come in and bring all these jobs, and it was just a big shot in the arm for southern Wisconsin. And then the elections and the Democrats got in, yanked all the promises back, and now they're instead of bringing all these hundreds of jobs into southern Wisconsin, they're just bringing like a minimal office staff. I mean, it's anyhow. I'm not going to talk politics, and well, not today anyhow. Right now, anyhow. So the market kind of went flat, and I thought that the rental income, my income went flat because the rental income paid for all that, all the everything the house took down there, um, the taxes, the insurance, and it was a real shot in my arm for cash flow. Without it, and all my credit cards maxed out because I had to max them out to get the money to fix the damage. I started missing payments, and Oh, back up a little bit. I had worked on my credit over the last 8, 10 years, and I got it really higher than it's ever been. I was up in the close to 700 range, if not breaking it. And in a matter of 3 months, I went from there down to 300.
Sorry, this device lost its connection.
Thank you, Echo. Um, because of all this that was going on with the credit cards and fixing the house. And it didn't bother me too much at first because I knew we'd get it rented and um, catch up on all the bills and uh, be right back where I was. Well, we didn't get it rented. Finally, I was so far behind in everything, rent wasn't an option anymore, or I didn't think it was. And I put it up for sale, and the market just went flat. I think I don't. There's some places sold, and after having it on the market for a few months, coming into winter, I was informed that it had no curb appeal. Why this wasn't brought to my attention when I was going to do stuff in June, and I was told not to bother, it was fine. And then the excuse was it wasn't selling because I didn't have the curb appeal, which upset me a little bit. Well, I went and made shutters and uh, uh, planter boxes and did some touch up. And I mean, it looks a lot better now. And yeah, still no sale. So my credit score went down to in the toilet in 300s now, and I've missed all my credit cards are with one of those deals. You hire the company or you pay them so much a month and they take care of the credit cards. Well, credit card companies haven't stopped calling me. I get upwards of 40 calls a day. So I've just turned my ringer off. And it's finally the banks on my mortgages. Um, they've been wonderful up to now, plus the credit union that has my truck payment. And yeah, I felt so bad. I don't talk to, if I don't have any news, I'm not going to talk to you. And they finally figured that out because I feel bad enough than to have to call you and make me feel even better, excuse me, feel even worse when there's nothing I can do. And generally, when you talk to the bankers and those people, when there's nothing you can do, they make you feel so bad that you commit to stuff you can't do. So I just stayed away from that. Anytime I had news, anything promising, I would email something what was going south. I'd email them. I kept them as up to date as I was, and then right after, I guess it was after the first year or last month, I got an offer. Some people looked at it, and I just went down there and spent 4 days working, um, did some painting, did some color changes, and within a week I got an offer in, or I was told they were showing it, and then brings in did I have an offer? Huh, I can't remember if I had an offer, but they did the inspection, had an inspection come in. We didn't have an offer. I don't know. Anyhow, they did the inspection and they hired an idiot, and anyhow, so they had to knock down the price a little bit, and, knocked it down a lot lower than I was comfortable going. And then one of the real estate people put on this put on this insurance policy that I'm supposed to pick up. Um, Anyhow, it started turning into a nightmare. And finally, and I really felt I was bullied in and pressured into taking this really low offer. And I was to the point where I just do it, because what I'm telling people to do is not getting done. Um, Everything was done in nothing was done when I. Uh, they weren't counters; they were just additions to the um, the offer to purchase. And it went south. They came back and kept dropping money and postponing it. And then day and a half before closing, and my bankers are all online. They're all getting ready to be paid. I'd actually went to one of the banks, and I know I shouldn't have done it, but they were so good. I said, "Well, so you can cash the check the minute I know it's my bank. I'll give you a post dated check." Well, day and a half, less than that, I find out that the buyers can't close because of some nonsense with a title to some mobile home, and um, they weren't going to close. And this is something's going on, because they spent a lot of money with the inspection, and then they had an appraisal done, and they couldn't wait to get in the house, and they beat me up, and I mean, got the house at a great price, and all of a sudden they back out. Well, I think they found. I'm pretty sure they found another house, because I'd offered to. Oh, they couldn't. The thing was, they couldn't clear their title on this mobile home for up to 10 weeks. And I just didn't want to redeal another offer going through all this crap again. So I offered to carry the price of the trailer on a second. And when the trailer would sell, they, you know, uh, issue me the money, and then they'd get their house. I'd be done with it. Well, they didn't like that idea. They didn't ask for an extension. It was just done. And I said, so, yeah. And I've never talked to the buyers. It's all through my realtor. And I put a claim in for the earnest money. Um, well, it's theirs if they can come up with a letter from the bank stating that they will not, because the only contingency at this point was the financing contingency. And I've got letters here, um, bank commitments. And the only way they can, qualify for their money back would be a letter from their credit union stating that they would not, the credit union is not willing to issue a mortgage for my property or any other for the next 6 months. Then they didn't, then it's the bank's fault. Well, they're not getting it. I haven't got that letter yet. And supposedly in my mailbox is some kind of release. I've got to read it, but I'm sticking to my guns on this. For the grief they put me through, and for all intents and purposes, pulled the house off the market, and then just bailed the last minute. You you don't do that. So now I'm so far behind in everything. I was informed this week, if I don't come up with some money by the 1st, we're going to start foreclosing or closing procedures. And when one starts, they're all going to start. In my world of cards, they're going to come tumbling down. My lifestyle, my bills, everything is built on this rental unit and that income. And so I'm talking to people, doing research, trying to figure out how I'm going to get out of this one. And miraculously, there's a showing on the property, and apparently there's an offer in my box. And I was informed of what the offer was. And I'm not happy at all. I don't know if I have a choice because I'm being forced into it. Possibly. I talked to the banker that holds the money on the rental unit, and I was told, how'd she put it? Oh, her best advice is to just sell it and get on with your life. And this is, the banker giving a client advice, and I don't know if it's good advice. I'm 65, turning 66, disabled. I don't have much of a life to get onto, and absolutely no way to recoup the potential loss here. So the way I understand this, the first buyer knocked me down for my original listed price. We had dropped it, I think 5,000, and then they knocked it down. I took it, was going to take a $20,000 hit minus or plus the 5 we dropped. So we were down 25,000 off of the listed price, and it would have appraised out. It's right in that market range. I'm not the highest price 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,900 square foot house with a huge, extra large 2-car garage. I mean, it's really a nice unit, and I'm right in the middle. The stuff that's a little bit more expensive, I'm right up there with, and they may have a little bit bigger lots and stuff, but really, after me, there's a big jump, and below me is real inferior property. So I'm right where I should have been, and so I took that $25,000 hit on that offer, and the people I'm dealing with, it's not like a big. It's like it's not a big deal. It's $25,000 out of my pocket that I can't recoup ever. And now with this new offer, to my understanding, it's another $25,000 less that I should just take and get on with life. How? What are these people thinking, that it's just okay to throw $50,000 away, like I can recoup it, like it's easy to get? Well, they go into foreclosure. They could, in short term, have my rental property, and the bank up here that has the mortgage on my house up here will follow suit. And any day they'll come and pick up my truck. And this is all stems from something I have no control over. And once the snowball went, I did everything I could, but I really had no control over any of it. And now I just don't know what to do. I've got some people to talk to, and I may have to just reorganize and refinance, or not refinance, because nobody's going to finance me. But Chapter 13, I don't know. I don't want to do that kind of thing. But if the bank's going to strong arm me and start foreclosure, I got to protect myself. And if I could do a reorganization type thing, get it rented, because it's of more value to me as a rental. So I get it rented and get everybody paid off at 100%. I don't need any deals. If they're gonna, play hardball, I need deals. I just don't know. I've never been at a loss like this, with no plans, no idea of where to go or what to do from here. Uh, I'm scared, I guess. I've never had to go through an experience like this. I guess this is the one time possibly that my lifestyle is not as cool as I think it is. When I have to come on here and talk to you and hopefully get some feedback, but it's if I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to myself, and when I talk to myself, I'm talking to the number one idiot because I'm so smart and clever. So anyhow, if you have any ideas, you pass them on to me. I'd sure appreciate it. Uh, I just don't know what I'm going to do, except um, I got to talk about it because this has got my depression. Just all those whatever they fire in your brains, that depression affects, they're all just going wacko. All the suicidal thoughts are there. It's I don't know how many times a day I'm thinking about bite the bullet. Just you try to all your life you've been trying to kill yourself, and now you really got something to justify it. And something's happened over these last few years. I really want to live, so that's not even an option to me. The thoughts are there, but it's not an option. Um, as bad as this financially, as bad as my life is, over the last 2 years, I don't think I've ever been as happy as I have been. And the last year's been in total crisis, but I've been able to keep my sense of humor. I'm try to keep my dignity. I try not to get mad at these people. And there's a lot of changes in my life that I've made and boundaries I've set up to get me into a mental state where I'm at. That it's okay. Um, I You can only do what you can do, and you can do the best you can. And the rest is up to God. God and bankers, and what a scary combo. But my final thoughts are, if my bankers and these financial people think that just that it's no big deal and it's okay for me just to throw $50,000 away and walk away and call it a day. I think they need to do something, reduce what I owe them. Take they can write part of it off. They can do everything. They want me to drop 50,000 so they can get paid, and they'll get paid off 100%. And I walk away with nothing and a lot of credit card debt yet. Um, for me to accept it, they're going to have to sweeten the pot. Is all it comes down to, or we'll probably be in court, and that's the last thing I want to do because they've been tolerant, they've been lenient. Um, they could have started foreclosures a long time ago. And the craziest part about this whole thing is the equity I have in both places. If you take all my equity against my debt, I could pay my debt off twice and still have money left. It's there. It's just the minute it sells, they'll get paid. And I don't. I have a hard time understanding where their problem is because it's you're on a monthly payment, and all of a sudden you're 3 months behind, but the equity's there. I'm making every effort to sell it and get them their money, and all they have to do is change the payment schedule. Biannually or annually, I'm not behind. Nobody knows the difference. Everything's good, and they'll get paid. But they don't make, they can't screw you that way. And it's something they could do easy. All they have to do is rewrite the payment schedule, and everybody's off the hook and they get paid, they get their interest. I'm not denying them that. I think, they just like to see us squirm and they don't give a rat's ass. They really don't. It's it's a shame what this has come to. And the other thing I'm kind of having trouble with is all my life I've done everything I could to stay off any kind of social service type things because I've always been able to work until I was disabled, and it kind of bothers me. I've been doing a lot of looking for help for seniors and the disabled that's supposed to be out there, and where's mine? It's not there. Um, I don't know. It's I just don't know what to do. Um, I've been so self-reliant all my life, and now that I need some help or could use some help, I don't know how to get it. And I'm not going to turn a Democrat and get asked for everything free and have everybody else pay for it. That's not my idea of a good time either. So I might be here tomorrow. I might be here next week, or I may be homeless. And if I'm homeless, it's shame on a lot of people. But the bottom line is I'm in this position for choices I made. I can't blame anybody else. I really want to, um, but I can't. It's my choices got me here, and they may not be able to get me out. Um, I'm going to call it a morning. My coffee's cold. I haven't slept in like 3 days, and I've got a lot of calling to do and a lot of decisions to make. If I can ask one thing of you, if you're a believer, just say a prayer for me because I need it. Um, my God's never let me down, and whatever comes of this is the way it's supposed to be. And I'll just be glad I made it through. That's all you can do. You guys have a good day, and thanks for stopping by. I'll try to make this channel a little more upbeat. Um, I'll give you a heads up when we're on the Mathew Braden channel. We'll be that's kind of the more serious uh, channel out of the three. As Matt sees it, it's just we'll just have a ball with the world, and living life large will be the really good things that happen where it's unexpected and big things. Um, and big large things don't have to be huge large things. They can be little things that mean a lot. So um, I hope you got some out of this, but I don't know how you could. But if nothing else, you can see, and you're having a bad day, just think you could have that guy's day, and that would be a lot worse. And God, I hope you don't. I hope nobody has this kind of day. And that's it. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by if you did swing by. And I'll give you the spiel. Like it if you can. Subscribe would be great. I don't have it on here, but I'll have all the Patriot stuff, all that stuff coming. Um, yeah, it'll be there eventually. One thing you can do, I don't know. I've got a fundraiser going on my Facebook channel. If you believe in flying the American flag, I was given this huge flag, and it used to fly in the front of my the entrance to my house. You drive under it with your car when you come in. Well, we had a tornado last late summer, early fall, and did a lot of damage. And I'm trying to raise money to get the flag flying again, and I have faith it will. I just hope I have enough faith in the ability to keep the property so we can fly the flag over it. There's pictures on YouTube or Facebook on it. If you got a spare quarter, I'd appreciate it. I'll tell you, put a smile on a lot of people's face, because here's this old hippie looking guy out playing in his gardens, flying a flag that's 15 by 20. I mean, this thing's huge. It's like the big ones they have over car lots. And a lot of people stop by and just say, that's cool. And, it's my country. I love it. Right or wrong, I love it. And I'm going to get political in my goodbye. I'm a Republican, been a Republican all my life. I'm not going to change. These hardcore Midwestern values where you work hard for a living, you pay for what you get. You don't look for handouts. You don't expect them. You don't expect anybody else to pay for your stuff. If you need it, you pay for it. If you can't afford it, you don't take it. It's a pretty simple, straightforward life. And we had Obama in there, and I didn't vote for him. But I'll tell you, 2 days after he got in there, I wasn't screaming impeach him, even though, I thought a lot of his moves were idiot moves. But if we're going to stay together as a country, there was, this is dating years ago, last century, in school, there was a phrase. I think it was in school, and I think it was a phrase. I mean, got to remember, this brain's been through a lot. But the bottom line is, he's my president, and we got to stick. After the elections, it's all done. The political stuff is done. We got to stick behind these people. It's my president, right or wrong, and you got to stick by him. It's like my country's right or wrong. You got to stick by your country, or we're going to lose it all. Let Trump do what he's got to do until he gets voted out. All this impeachment crap is, take your balls and go home. I'm tired of hearing about it. He won. Get over it. He'll be out soon enough, and there'll be a Democrat in there, and I'll be crying. But no, I don't. They'll do the best they can. And these people do what the best they can with the. But we got to stick together as a people and get over the Democrat, the Republican. We got to start working. We got to take pride in not only ourselves, but our country. Quit thinking everybody's worth $20 an hour. My God, I can't afford to go to McDonald's anymore. Minimum wage is what is it now? 10, 15 bucks an hour? It's crazy for unskilled, uneducated people. McDonald's, flipping burgers at McDonald's is not a lifelong occupation, or it shouldn't be. There were jobs for kids going to school, retired people, mothers, they weren't career opportunities. And we make choices in our life, and you can't expect somebody else to bail you out. If you didn't go to school, if you didn't get a good education, blame one person, and it's you. Nobody else, because you made those choices. Get over it. If you're going to be a minimum wage, brainless person, you're not going to live a wealthy life. Oh, I'm tired. I'm going to get punchy, and I'm going to get somebody mad, and they'll probably do a drive-by and shoot me, but it won't be me shooting me. You guys have a good day, and thank you for coming by. And I'll try to be here tomorrow and update you. God bless.